Welcome everyone to Conf42 Cloud Native 2023. Before we kick off the event, we'd like to invite you to join our Discord server. This is the place where you can interact with other attendees and speakers. We've got an exciting lineup today, so without further ado, let's begin. Conf42 Cloud Native 2023 exists thanks to G-Core, Kong, Microsoft, and Teleport, gold sponsors, silver sponsors, and media partners. We kick off with a keynote by Andrei Novoselov, CloudOps Platform as a Service team lead at G-Core. He will be sharing his insights on managing Kubernetes, moving from OpenStack Magnum to the Cluster API.
Hi, it is a joy to welcome you all to this Kubernetes cluster management discussion. We will be exploring two popular methods of Kubernetes cluster management, the OpenStack Magnum and the Cluster API. We will discuss the advantages and disadvantages as well as compare the two different approaches. Thanks for joining.
In the second keynote, Shane Ut, staff software engineer at Kong, will take us beyond Kubernetes ingress with Gateway API.
I'm excited to share with you some of the things we're working on in Kubernetes as part of the Kubernetes Networking Special Interest Group, and to show you how you can take advantage of Gateway API today. In this talk, we'll cover some of the reasons for migrating from Ingress to Gateway API, including the extensive routing and load balancing functionality already available. But we'll also talk about things that aren't available, some of the upcoming projects, including service mesh capabilities. I'm really looking forward to this talk and hope that it'll encourage you to join us in Upstream Kubernetes on this project and check things out for yourself. Enjoy the conference.
In the third keynote, Bojan Vrhovnik, Senior Cloud Solutions Architect at Microsoft, will be showing us Azure Container Apps, serverless container apps in action.
You finish coding your app, you have built containers, you want to deploy, you need support for massive load and customers. You look into Kubernetes, you get this file. Do you need deployment? Do you need pod? Where is the ingress? How to reference the secret? You tap too much. Error. You forgot name. Error. And it's Friday. Don't release on Friday. Always. Join me to see how this can be done easier, error-prone, and more efficient with Azure Container Apps.
In the fourth keynote, Kenneth DuMez, Developer Relations Engineer at Teleport, will show us the best practices for Kubernetes audit log.
Hey Conf42, come check out my talk on the best audit logging practices of Kubernetes. We'll go through some tips and tricks, some best practices, and some open source tooling that you can use to ensure that you're never digging through Kubernetes log files manually ever again. Come check it out, it'll be a lot of fun.
The first track today is Security. Linda Ikchekwu, developer advocate at Small Step Labs, will now introduce you to better way to SSH. Introducing SSH certificates.
Please join me for my talk titled Lose Your Keys and Use SSH Certificates. I'm really excited to throw more light on the shortcomings of traditional SSH key authentication and really show you how using SSH key certificates are much more superior and why you should start using them and how you can start using them. So I'm really excited about this talk and I hope that you join me too, and I hope to see you all in the conference. So, ciao!
Up next we have Rotem Refael, Director of Engineering at Armo. She will be sharing what they've learned from scanning over 10,000 Kubernetes clusters. The next speaker is Yiscah Levy-Silas, Software Engineer at Armo. She will be unpacking open source security in public repos and registries.
Are CNCF graduated projects more secure and less prone to vulnerabilities? Hi everyone, in my talk I'll share with you first-of-its-kind research conducted by scanning the most popular and widely adopted open source projects. Looking forward to the conference.
Coming up next we have Wiktoria Dalach, Software and Security Engineer, Writer and Speaker. She will convince you that security doesn't have to be a nightmare.
Hello Conf42 Cloud Native. I am so excited to share with you the best tips and tricks for security of your cloud and short, very tiny part of security theory that will empower you forever to build more secure products.
For the next lecture, please join me in welcoming Alain Lompo, software developer at ISO Group, who will be giving us a comprehensive guide to using HashiCorp Vault in Kubernetes clusters to manage secrets with confidence.
Hello there. Please join me for this session where I'll be talking about managing sensitive information with confidence in a Kubernetes cluster using HashiCorp Vault. I'll first introduce HashiCorp Vault, then we'll deep dive into its architecture before talking about how to integrate it with Kubernetes, and then we'll see some real-world scenario and we'll finish with a demonstration. So I hope you join me and that you'll enjoy this conference as well.
Next up is Mohammed Aboullaite, backend engineer at Spotify. He will show us how to move fast when building things and do it safely.
Hello, Com42. I hope you are doing great and looking forward to the conference as much as I am. I am Mohammed. I will be taking you in a journey comparing how we can actually extract and learn from the Formula One races on how to increase velocity and increase safety and security of our system while building our applications and service. So hope to see you there and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Our next presenter is Ben Rockwood, the Vice President of Engineering and Operations at Mondu. He will be sharing his insight on cloud-native posture management for AI.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having an awesome Com42. I want you to come and join me for my session, Cloud Native Posture Management for All. We're going to talk about security and compliance. We're going to talk about posture management. More importantly, I want to challenge the way you think about these things as you consider assurance. What does that mean? What does it mean in a cloud era? And I want to introduce you to two incredible new tools that I hope will open you to a whole new set of possibilities that will address things in a cloud native way that will really add a lot of value to your daily life. Come join me and enjoy the rest of your conference.
In the next exciting session, Christoph Hartmann, the co-founder and CTO of Mondu, will guide us through the path of implementing security as code.
Welcome everybody, I'm Chris, CTO and co-founder at Mondu, and I'm super excited to talk about security as code at Conf42 Cloud Native 2023.
Up next, we have Michael Levin, Kubernetes and Containers trainer, consultant, and content creator. He will be teaching us how to manage Kubernetes secrets the right way with Vault.
Welcome to my session at Conf42 for Kubernetes secrets and doing it all with Vault. Now, I'm an independent consultant. I create content. I consult for customers globally. And one of the biggest things that I see is how are we going to enable secrets? Now, of course, you can use Kubernetes secrets, but you'll find out in the session why you actually shouldn't. So we're going to go through a brief PowerPoint, and then we're going to dive into how to implement this in your environment.
For the next one, we are excited to have Nader Zaveri and Brandon Schondorfer from Mediant by Google Cloud. Old services, new tricks, cloud metadata abuse by threat actors.
A little bit about today's talk. We're going to be talking about cloud metadata service and the abuses we're seeing it on the front lines from different threat actors. And we're going to really particularly speak on a particular use case.
In the next talk, we have Reza Ramezanpour, developer advocate at Tigera. He will be sharing the best practices for container and Kubernetes security policy design.
Please join me for my talk about container and Kubernetes security, policy design, 10 critical best practices. I'm super excited to talk about security and share my local lab with you, where you can experience everything that I demo in your own environment.
Up next is Shlomi Kushchi, system architect at JIT. He will be teaching us how to defend our cloud-native apps against the serverless top 10.
Hi, I will talk about securing your serverless applications using the OWASP top 10 recommendations for serverless. Securing your applications could be a hard task to do if you don't know how. Luckily, we have these recommendations by the OWASP organization to help us out. So stay tuned to learn more and make your application much more secure soon.
Steve Judd, chief architect at JetStack, a Venafi company, will be sharing how platform engineers are zero trust rainmakers.
Hi there. In my talk, I'll be covering all things zero trust, what it is, why it's important, what its challenges are, and why platform engineers are the secret to unlocking its benefits in a Kubernetes world. Want to know more? Well, join me for my talk, and I hope you enjoy the conference.
In the next talk, Sven Ruppert, developer advocate at JFrog, will be discussing the supply chain security for open source projects. It's time to prepare.
Today I want to talk with you about supply chain security. What are the key points? What are the tools you can use? How you can protect yourself? And what you can do to integrate this one into your CI or in your software development process.
It's time for the scaling track. Yael Grossman, Specialist Solutions Architect Flexible Compute at AWS, joins in to teach us how to scale Kubernetes clusters without losing our minds and our money.
Hi everyone, please join me for scaling your Kubernetes clusters without losing your mind or your money. We'll talk about the different compute options that you can use on AWS today and how you can tailor that to meet your unique needs of your applications. How you can do that efficiently with Carpenter and open source that is designed to make efficient use of the compute options on AWS. Looking forward to that and have a great conference.
Trista Pan, co-founder and CTO at SphereX, will now highlight an amazing solution for scaling and sharing traditional databases on Kubernetes to achieve true digital transformation.
Hello everyone, I'm so happy to give this talk. And in my talk, I will share some experience around how to leverage Apache top-level project, that is Apache Sharding Sphere, to create your distributed MySQL or PostgreSQL distributed database system on the Kubernetes. If you want to get the complete answer or the solution, please join me there and hope you enjoy it.
Coming up next, we have Samuel Barufi, Senior Global Solutions Architect at AWS. He will be talking about Carpenter, a new tool that enables just-in-time node scaling on AWS clusters.
Hello everyone. Please join me on my session about just-in-time nodes for any EKS clusters, auto-scaling with Carpenter. I'll be talking about auto-scaling on Kubernetes, specific about the benefits of Carpenter. Hope you learned something new and hope to see you there.
Yoav Nordmann, Full-Stack as a Service at Tikal Knowledge, is here to discuss anomaly detection with Apache Pinot and Third Eye.
I hope you will join my lecture where I will talk about real-world problems working with big data and how Apache Pinot and Third Eye can help you achieve higher data consistency and reliability. I hope you will enjoy my talk and all the others at this super cool conference.
Hi, if you're interested in learning about what change data capture pattern is, and also have it operate in a cloud-native world, you've come to the right place. And please join me. I'll be talking about cloud-native event streaming platform Apache Pulsar and how it can be used to implement the change data capture pattern. Thank you.
Up next, Oskar Neumann, Solutions Architect at AWS, will be exploring modern applications architecture with AWS Step Functions.
Hello. I heard that you are interested in building cool and modern applications in the cloud. So please join my talk and then I will show you how you can be one step ahead of the competition using the serverless workflow orchestration service Step Functions. I will show you some best practices, architectural patterns, and look forward to seeing you in my talk. Enjoy!
Next up, we have Kristopher Francisco, the co-founder and executive at Evolute. Kristopher will be sharing insights on AI-based containerization, a framework for cloud portability.
We're going to talk about AI-based containerization, how you can take your software from any source and move it into its most cloud-native format in its destination in a matter of minutes. We believe this technology is unprecedented. We look forward to showing you how artificial intelligence allows you to achieve more native cloud scalable architectures and being able to do that, whether it's a single application or hundreds of applications, and doing that at scale. We hope you'll join us, and we look forward to having you there. Thank you.
In the next talk, Bervianto Leo Pratama, software engineer at Mitrace, will be discussing his decision to move Lerna projects to .NET projects.
Hello everyone, I'm going to talk about why I'm migrating my open source project from Lerna to .NET. What is my strategy? How do I migrate it? So, what are you waiting for? Let's join the conference.
For the next one, please welcome Ricardo Castro, Principal Engineer and SRE at FunDuel Blip. He will be discussing the importance of CI/CD in build deploy automation.
So what do we have on the menu for today? So we're going to briefly talk about CI/CD. What is CI? What is CD? We're going to talk about regular development workflow and what are some of the alternatives that we can find to actually employ CI/CD within our organizations. Before I leave you, I will say what's the problem with all of this and why I'm talking about this topic, and I will leave you guys with some reading material.
Rob Erlum, Senior Developer Advocate at Sitecore, will be discussing multi-cloud deployments with GitHub Actions.
I'm really looking forward to presenting at Conf42 Cloud Native. I'm going to be presenting on multi-cloud deployments and how you can set those up using GitHub Actions. Hopefully you find the content useful, and I look forward to seeing you at the event.
Robert Grundle, Software Engineer at Google, is here to explore modern development of distributed applications with Service Weaver.
Hello everyone, please join me for my talk on Service Weaver, a new framework for writing distributed applications. I'll be excited to share how you can write your application as a modular binary and deploy it as a set of microservices, how Service Weaver makes it easy to have observability and do testing, and how it enables you to write high-performance applications. Finally, I will show you how you can use Service Weaver to deploy the same application binary across multiple cloud environments. Please join the talk, and we would love you to try and contribute to the project and give us feedback.
In the next session, Satish Main and Rajiv Jaiswal from AWS will be discussing how to build cloud-native open-format data lakehouse using AWS.
Hi everyone, are you getting started to build data lake with ACID properties on AWS Cloud? I am excited to talk about open table formats that power lakehouse architecture and how they integrate with AWS Analytics services. So join me for my talk on building cloud-native data lakehouse. My co-speaker will first cover journey to regular data lake, and I will then walk you through the features of popular open table formats and options for building a scalable data lakehouse on AWS Cloud. So really looking forward for this talk and hope you all enjoy the conference.
Sorin Dumitrescu, VP of Engineering at Banishell, will be discussing environments as a service.
Hello, I will be talking about environments as a service and explain how both engineers' experience and productivity can significantly benefit from integrating ephemeral environments in your day-to-day activity. I'm really excited to discuss these modern practices as well as briefly demonstrate them. Hope you attend the presentation and also enjoy it. See you soon.
The next one on the line is the deep dive track. Abi Bangso, Principal Engineer at Centasso, will attempt to convince you that platforms aren't tools but experiences. And Kubernetes isn't a platform, but a foundation.
Hi, I'm excited to be joining Conf42 to speak about how platforms aren't just tools, they're about the experience, and how Kubernetes is not your platform, but it can make a great foundation for one. In my short lightning talk, I'll have a bit of a rant about how bandwagoning and buzzwording of new ideas can reduce the ability for us to evolve and improve as an industry, and why I hope that platform engineering can overcome the risk of entering into buzzword territory. In particular, I want to talk about the engineering complexity behind bespoke platforms that our companies and our teams require, and why platform engineers deserve better frameworks and abstractions to build those solutions with. Thanks for joining, and I hope you have a fantastic conference event.
In the next one, Anupama Pathirage, Director of Engineering at WSO2, will be introducing Ballerina, a cloud-native programming language designed for building microservices-based applications.
Hello everyone, I'll be talking about Ballerina programming language, which is an open source language for the cloud which makes it easy to use, combine and create network services. I'm excited to walk through some of the key features of the language along with some real code examples which showcase the features as well as ease and effectiveness of the language for the application developers. So looking forward for the Conf42 and hope you will enjoy the session.
Federica Ciuffo, Senior Container Specialist Solutions Architect at AWS, will be exploring application networking and Kubernetes.
I'm going to talk about how the networking in Kubernetes has evolved to cope with more complex architectural patterns. I'm also going to talk about service meshes, Kubernetes Gateway API. I'm very excited about this talk. I hope you will enjoy the conference.
In the next one, Barkatul Mujauddin, DevRel intern at Kiploy, will tell you how to make your API testing easy.
Hi and welcome everyone. I'm very excited to talk about API testing made easy and how you can convert your API calls to test cases automatically, how you can mock your dependencies automatically and things like that. So thank you so much for joining in.
Matt Morris, Principal Solutions Engineer at rapdev.io, will be sharing insights into next-generation enterprise workflows.
Let's be honest, for the longest time, observability and APM integrations to enterprise ITSM workflow tools like ServiceNow have been unimaginative and lackluster. Just toss a webhook over the wall and let those guys figure out what to do with that incident or alert. Watch my talk at Conf42 Cloud Native 2023, premiering on March 30th. I'll introduce a new framework and show some real examples of what's possible with a rich bidirectional integration between observability tools and enterprise ITSM tools to enable previously unachievable outcomes with a few clicks and minimal setup.
Now, please give a warm welcome to Ala Shiban, the co-founder of Clofo, who will be discussing the state of infrastructure from code in 2023.
Hello friends, my name is Ala Shiban and I'm the co-founder of a startup called Clotho, enabling teams to write universal backend code that runs anywhere. I led teams in the Visual Studio org at Microsoft and more recently led the Cloud Services org at Riot Games. I'm going to walk you through the state of infrastructure from code in 2023, starting with what is infrastructure from code, how does it compare to infrastructure as code, and the leading approaches and tools in the space. Have a great day.
Coming up next, we have Sylvain Combraque, a consultant specializing in Go and React.js. He'll make some predictions on what's next in the HTTP caching world.
Hello everybody, thanks for joining me to this conference. For the next 30 minutes, we will talk together about the past, the present and the future of the HTTP cache. Let's see together how to accelerate your APIs or your websites using only the HTTP headers.
Dmitry Khorev, senior software engineer at Mero, is here to give us an introduction to the Saga pattern for distributed transactions.
Today I will be talking about transactions in distributed systems and specifically about the Saga pattern. We'll review the ways to keep the data consistent within your microservice architectures. And thank you for joining in.
For the next session, we have Ismail Omani and Charles-Alban Benezek, Cloud Solutions Architect at Wscale. They will be demystifying what is a data mesh.
Oh, hi! My name is Ismail. I am a cloud-native developer at Wscale. With Charles, in today's talk, we are going to introduce you with the notion of data mesh. The well-known? Not so well-known. In fact, we consider that it became a buzzword, meaning that many people are talking about it, but does not really understand it. So whether you are a beginner or you never understood or heard about data mesh, go with us. We'll try to make it true.
Ron Eisenberg, Principal Software Architect at CyberArk, joins in to share the enterprise on AWS CDK best practices from the trenches.
Hi everybody. AWS CDK changed the way we create resources in the cloud. It enables developers to write infrastructure as code, not JSON, not YAML, but actual code, and feel right at home. In my session, I'm going to cover AWS CDK best practices that I've gathered from working with it for the last 3 years. I'm going to cover topics such as application guidelines, CDK construct guidelines, security guidelines, resilience guidelines, and many more. See you there.
Next up, we have Luciano Mammino, Senior Architect at ForFearem, with his session Your Lambdas in Rust.
In the last few years, I've been through a couple of different journeys that are kind of meeting together in the same place. I've been doing a lot of serverless, learning about AWS and Lambda, but I've also been learning a lot about Rust and writing small programs and libraries in Rust. And I think the two together are a very powerful combination. And in my talk, I want to tell you a lot more about that, why I think it's a good idea, what are the trade-offs, and also I want to show you a few demos on how to get started and what kind of tools you can use to deploy your first Lambda in Rust in your AWS account. I hope you will enjoy this talk and you will be able to join me, and I look forward to hearing your feedback about that.
Zach Gardner, Chief Architect at Keyhole Software, will be giving us 4 important reasons why digital transformation fails and how to succeed.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The presentation that I'm going to give at Conf42 are the 4 reasons why digital transformations usually fail and what you, yes, you, wherever you are, wherever you're sitting out in the world, can do to make sure that yours is successful. It seems like these days everyone is talking about digital transformation. It seems like everyone's trying to sell a service around how to make a digital transformation successful. And you know what? Some of it's good advice, some of it's not good advice. So take it from me, someone that has done these things before, on what are the things that I have seen in my experience that separate a good digital transformation from one that is not so good. And it's super critical because we, as software practitioners, owe it to our users, the only reason why we have jobs, to deliver them the software that they need on time and under budget. And, like it or not, digital transformation is here to stay. Everyone's talking about it, everyone's doing it. So shrug off that FOMO, come to my presentation, and learn how you can have a successful digital transformation. Again, my name is Zach Gardner, Chief Architect at Keyhole Software.
In the next session, Shai Almog, the founder of debugagent.com, will be diving deep into your containers with kubectl debug and observability.
Please join me for my talk, Debugging at Scale in Production, Deep into Your Containers with kubectl Debug, where we will talk about real-world debugging, observability, and troubleshooting in production environments in the modern age. See you there.
In the next session, please join us in welcoming Shahar Azulay, co-founder and CEO of Grand Cover, True Kubernetes Observability with eBPF.
I'll cover a bit about what has gone wrong with legacy observability for cloud-native environments, why are we paying so much for them, and why are they so hard to integrate, and what we can do differently, and how will the next future cloud-native solutions for your observability stack would look like. Hope you enjoyed the talk and the conference, and thanks everyone.
In the next great session, Doug Sillars, Head of Developer Relations at Unscript, will show you how to pair up with a chat box, building DevOps automations with a little help.
Today I'm going to give a talk about how I'm using an AI bot, basically ChatGPT, to create DevOps runbook automations. So building runbooks and automating them, and writing the code with the help of my pair programmer, ChatGPT.
The last track today is Lessons Learned. Einat Mahat, R&D Group Lead at Sky, will now be sharing with us the legend of the arsonist firefighter.
Please join me for my talk, The Legend of the Arsonist Firefighter. I hope to inspire you to think differently about incident prevention and to provide you with practical tips to apply in your own organization. Thank you for joining in and hope you enjoy the conference.
In the next session, Elinor Sapir, Director of Solutions Architecture and Partnerships at Rookout, will be discussing why we must approach debugging differently.
Hi everyone. It's an absolute pleasure being here and discussing this really important topic. How do we debug debugging? Why do we need to approach it differently in order to work more effectively? As part of my role, I work with many clients around the world, ranging from small startups right through to Fortune 500 companies. And this gives me the privilege of having the insight into how different teams work, what works, what doesn't. And what I want to do today is share some of those learnings with you, with a focus on debugging. What's broken, what works, what needs changing? How do we empower teams to develop the highest quality code that they can in the quickest amount of time?
Sindhuja Nagarajan, Data Migration and Data Engineering Lead at ChargeBee, is here to guide you through the process of solving migration pipelines.
Hello everyone, I'm Sindhuja. I'm going to introduce you to the world of migration and what are all the different types of migrations out there in cloud and on-premise, and also how to think about it, what are all the general problems that you might see. Thank you.
In the next session, George Hansaras and Dan McKean from MongoDB will be showing us how to build a self-service database as a service for your internal developer platform. Lucas da Costa, the founder of Ergomake, will be sharing his blueprint for designing staging environments.
Hi everyone, I'm Lucas, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to design staging environments. Not only staging environments, pre-production environments in general. And before we get started, I just thought I'd give you a brief intro about myself. So I'm the founder of Ergomake. We're at ergomake.dev, and we work a lot with these pre-production and these staging environments. So all this content comes from what we've learned dealing with users that want to set up those kinds of environments.
In the next one, Omer Kahani, staff software engineer, platform infra group at Snyk, will be sharing his expertise on patterns of adoptions and depreciation.
Hi, I will be talking about internal platforms and how to make everyone use them.
In the last but not least talk, please welcome together Sam Williams, the founder of Complete Coding, who will be sharing his experience on how he built a serverless-first software-as-a-service startup in 30 days.
In this talk, I'm going to take you on the journey of how and why I built a serverless SaaS startup in 30 days and how you can do exactly the same. I'm Sam, and I've been working 100% serverlessly for over 5 years now. I run Complete Coding, which is a YouTube channel teaching people to become serverless developers, and now we even have a full serverless masterclass course, which takes you from novice to being able to apply for serverless jobs.
This is all we've got for you today at Conf42 Cloud Native 2023. We hope that you'll learn a couple of new tricks and meet some great people. Please make sure to jump into our Discord server to have a chat with everyone. Just before you get there, please make sure to read the Code of Conduct. As always, FreeRSVP unlocks all the content. The keynotes will kick off right after this video ends. The full schedule is on the event website. Your feedback is important to make Conf42 better for everyone. Please leave a comment. All constructive criticism is welcome. Big thanks to our speakers, partners and sponsors for making this whole thing possible, and to you for being with us and attending. That was Mark. Thank you so much, and I hope to meet you in the Discord in a minute. Cheers!